Champions for Hire.
Welcome back to Genius for Hire. I am Matthew Perry. With me today, the rest of the boys, Will, RJ, and Jamil. And we're back, our Week 7 pick'em. Right now, we have an update of the standings. RJ takes back over the lead dog position, went 13-3 this week. Very good stuff. He's 68-28. Only one game back is Will. He went 12-4. He's 67-29. Jamil in third. He went 12-4 this week as well. He's 66-30. And I had a rough week. I fell back to 6 games away from the leader. I went 10-6 this week. I'm 62-34. Pretty straightforward week with the games slated for week 7. Only one island this week. It is Will's, and then 2 splits. We'll start with the island, of course, and it's an interesting one. Will is the only one to pick the Cincinnati Bengals as they take on the red-hot Baltimore Ravens. Will?
Hell yeah, man. Somebody's got to do it. This was a game to where, this kind of goes back to my theory all season to where interdivisional games are tough. It kind of harping on that. I know the game's going to be in Baltimore, and I know the Baltimore Ravens are hot. They're winners of 5 straight, dropped the first one, and have just been going on all cylinders since. But the Bengals have had 2 games in which they've lost, in which there was no right that they should have lost. I mean, for one, the Bears shouldn't have beat them, period. And that's coming from a Bears fan. And then 2, they had so many opportunities to beat the Packers. And McPherson was just shankopotamus that day. He just couldn't figure it out. The Bengals have no reason to not be 6-0 right now. And I think right now the Ja'Marr Chase and Joe Burrow connection has been absolutely outstanding. The Bengals have just made something happen. Sure, the other 4 wins, they're not exactly against the greatest opponents. Other than the Packers, their schedule hasn't been the greatest. But the Chiefs and the Chargers, other than that, the Ravens schedule hasn't been too competent either. You're looking at a Colts team who's kind of underperformed so far this season. And then a couple of teams that you can just kind of wipe the floor with. So, I think this is going to be a close game. I don't doubt, I don't see a problem with going with either team. And I'm not shocked at all, really, that I was the only one going with the Bengals. But again, 1 point away from RJ, you got to differentiate yourself somehow.
Jamil, you mentioned to us earlier off camera, you shared some thoughts on the Bengals, and you kind of aren't buying into what they're selling. Now, I think we can all agree the Bengals are playing above average, or at least above our expectations of them coming into the year. I think there's no denying that. But you basically put down any tellings that the Bengals are an elite company or in a very good team, I guess you could say. Kind of give me your thoughts on the Bengals, because it kind of shocked me for you to say that.
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals are definitely playing above expectations coming into this season. I thought they would be a team that would win some games, shock some teams here and there, but they've obviously started the season off very, very hot. But I don't think they're as good as some people think they are at the moment. To me, I put them in the same boat with a team like the Broncos, a team that's won some games, but are they really for real? Have they shown to us that they're for real yet? And to me, they haven't had that game to show me that. Yeah, they beat the Steelers, but when they beat the Steelers were showed themselves. They finally found their identity and started running the ball. They hardly beat the Vikings. Will said, they should be undefeated, but on the same token, they barely scraped by week 1 against the Vikings. They barely squeaked by against the Jaguars, a team that's not good at all. So really, how good are the Bengals? I think we're going to learn a lot about that this week.
RJ, would you sooner put the Bengals in a class with the Ravens or in a class with the Broncos?
Honestly, I think they're in between both of them. Because I don't think they're as bad as the Broncos. I think that team is just not very good. It starts at the quarterback position. But I don't think they're anywhere near the Baltimore Ravens either. Lamar Jackson, if the season ended today, Lamar Jackson would be my MVP. I think Baltimore's firing on all cylinders with the injuries they had in training camp. To see what they look like right now, I don't think the Bengals are quite there yet, but they aren't as bad as Denver either. You mentioned we're going to learn a lot about Cincinnati this week. We're going to learn a lot about Cincinnati the next couple months. Go look at their schedule. It is about to get turned up all the way to 10. We are going to find out just how good that Joe Burrow to Ja'Marr Chase connection is and how far it can take this team, because they are about to run an absolute gauntlet that the NFL is putting in front of them. So we'll find out about the Bengals. It starts this week, so we'll see.
Bengals have played well, but they are definitely an underdog this week against the Ravens. We'll move to our first island. Both islands this week happen to be RJ and I against Will and Jamel, so team up now. First one is the Chiefs and the Titans, which I think is going to be a great game, of course, with those two caliber teams. The Chiefs coming off a win, as are the Titans. The Titans barely edging out the Buffalo Bills, which we all had and kind of lost that prediction. But Jamil, tell me why you and Will selected the Chiefs.
I went with the Chiefs for one reason. I said it last week. I said, you guys were talking about, are we worried about the Chiefs? I said, I'm not worried about the Chiefs at all. I think they're going to go on a tear. And I think it starts last week against the Washington football team. I think it continues this week against the Tennessee Titans. They're playing another team with a banged up secondary. We saw last night that the Titans lost 2 more corners. They're dropping like flies over there. Hope Fairley gets right towards the ACO. That sucks to see in his first game. So hope all the best for him. But that secondary is depleted. And we all know, even though Patrick Mahomes made a Jameis Winston play, I think they got cloned yesterday. The Saints didn't play, so they switched spots, and he made one of the worst throws I've ever seen him make. But I think they're going to get right. They're going to keep throwing the ball over this. They're going to throw the ball a lot against this team, especially if Tyreek Hill gets his knee right. And I think they should win this game pretty comfortably on offense with their offense.
RJ, I went over the Bills, who coming into last week had the number 1 offense and defense in football. It has to be a big confidence boost for the Titans. Any other reason why you selected them?
Yeah, you know what else is a big confidence booster? When you can turn around and hand the ball to 22. That's a confidence booster. That dude is, I just said Lamar Jackson would be my MVP. I'm not kidding. Number 2 on my ballot would be Derrick Henry. And Josh Allen's great. Kyler Murray's great. All these, Justin Herbert's great. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are absolutely on another level right now. Derrick Henry is doing stuff that you shouldn't be able to do. I saw a tweet actually from Des Bryant today. Derrick Henry is that player that we all used to create in Madden back in the day. This guy is a freak. I do not think Kansas City is going to have an answer for him at all. I don't think anybody in the NFL really has an answer for him, especially this Chiefs team. I get it. When you have number 15 playing quarterback in Kansas City, you're never out of a game. But that defense, they are not going to know what hit them. Derrick Henry will have another game of probably 140, 150. He's going to have a couple more touchdowns. I think it'll be good enough. Look, this is going to be a great game. This is probably a game that we're going to see again in January when it's loser goes home. Derrick Henry is just unbelievable right now. And I'm not going against him. I just can't do it right now.
It's key to mention that Taylor Lewan was stretchered off the game against Buffalo. Are you concerned about the offensive line at all?
Well, yeah, I mean, when your best offensive lineman goes down, that's a tough deal. I get it, but like I mentioned, this Chiefs defense doesn't scare me, and I don't really think it scares anybody. You can score on this Chiefs defense. I think the Titans are going to score.
I agree. I do think it'll be a shootout, higher scoring game. Plenty of star power and good players to look out for heading into Sunday. We'll keep an eye on that game.
I think it'll be very similar to the game we just saw Monday night. Buffalo airs it out, but Tennessee just finds a way to win. I think we're going to see the same exact game this weekend.
I wouldn't doubt that, and I'd definitely take another exciting game like that. Our second and final island, once again, RJ and I, we took the San Francisco 49ers, and Will and Jamil took the Indianapolis Colts. Will, why the Colts?
I don't know what it is about the Colts, man, but they need to be performing better. This is a team that I had honestly winning this division at the beginning of the year. I thought this team got a hell of a start to the season, one of the hardest schedule starts I've seen. But hopefully, I think it's about time they start turning the tides. I mean, they looked great this last week. What was the final score of that game? I want to say somewhere around like 34-11 or something similar to that. I could be thinking of another game, but I know that the Colts definitely handled their business, and they looked good. if Carson Wentz can get comfortable, this is a decent team. You know, if he can just play decent, this is a good team. You know, it's one of those. Jonathan Taylor does his thing. The Colts defense is still one of the top defenses in the league, even though they got a rough start with a very top heavy schedule. The Indianapolis Colts are a very complete team, and the 49ers are still having quarterback issues. You know, Trey Lance, is it Jimmy G? Who do you go to? You know, when it comes to the backfield, who do you go to? Everybody's dropping like flies back there. I mean, there's a lot of questions with the San Francisco 49ers. Their defense has always been their mainstay, and they're phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. But I still think the Colts are the more complete team. And that's crazy to say that Carson Wentz might be a quarterback favorite in a game. You don't hear that much, but I really do. I'm more comfortable with Carson Wentz in the pocket between him and Trey Lance or him and Jimmy G. You know, and I like the Colts defense. I like what they can do. I think the injuries and inconsistencies of the San Francisco offense is going to be just enough for the Colts to hang on.
RJ, why the 49ers?
This is going to be, I think, it's going to kind of be an ugly game. I don't know that either one of these teams are really that good. They're not that bad, but I think both teams could improve at the quarterback position. I think both teams want to rely on their run game, and I think both teams have pretty decent defenses. I think it's going to be a weird score. I don't know. There's just something about this game that I could see just field goals, turnovers, stuff like that. It's going to be an ugly, just grinded out game. I think the 49ers defense will be able to get to Carson Wentz, make him have, you know, one extra turnover than whoever's going to play quarterback in San Francisco. I haven't even been keeping up with that. No. I literally don't know who's going to play, but I'm still taking the 49ers. I think this defense is going to get to Carson Wentz. He's going to get rattled. It's going to be an ugly, just grind it out, run the ball 30 times game. It's going to be one of those ones. And I just think San Francisco can do that better than Indianapolis can.
All right, there you go. Those are our island and splits for the for week 7. Now we'll get into our unanimous picks, starting with the Thursday night game, the Denver Broncos against the Cleveland Browns. All of us taking Cleveland. Jamil, why did we take Cleveland?
You know, I think we mentioned the Broncos earlier. It's a team where I'm not 100% sold on them. Teddy Bridgewater was flipping pancakes last week against the Raiders, throwing picks left and right, turning the ball over. They just didn't look good against the Raiders in a game where I thought the Raiders weren't going to come up and play the way they did, but they proved me wrong. Good for them. Broncos didn't have it. RJ's favorite quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater. He's not the answer there. Obviously, Myles Garrett's going to be breathing down his throat this whole game. And even though the Chiefs are losing their running backs, not the Chiefs, the Browns, excuse me. You know, the Browns are losing a whole bunch of their running backs, and Baker Mayfield is a little hurt. I still think they're going to have enough to get the job done in a short week.
All right, Will, all of us selected the Green Bay Packers to defeat the Washington football team. What are your thoughts on that?
They still own the Bears, so why wouldn't they own the Washington football team? It's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is doing Aaron Rodgers things. I mean, he is who he is. You know, if it wasn't for so many other players, he's right back up there in the MVP conversation. He has to be up there. The Packers are just who they are. And who'd you say they're playing? The Washington football team? That's been a shit show. There's no telling what's going on in that team between losing Ryan Fitzpatrick, trying to figure out Taylor Heineke, who's been, you know, looks like the greatest quarterback on the football field at a point, and then at one point looks like, you know, replacement level. You know, it kind of goes back and forth a little bit. It's a team struggling with inconsistency and a defense that has typically been the bread and butter of the team that's also been struggling quite a bit with inconsistencies as well. So when a better all-around team is going to face you, you're going to see the negative side. So imagine Aaron Rodgers to pick apart that defense a little bit.
Yeah, over under 300 passing yards for Aaron Rodgers.
I'd bump that up. Yeah, I'd take the over.
Yeah. RJ, Jamil?
I don't know how many yards he's going to have because that score might get out of hand and he might not be throwing the ball late in the game. I would say this about Washington. I still think their defense is good. They're not playing well, but on paper, they have the personnel.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah, they've got the personnel. I think your receivers, your running backs, I think the roster is pretty decent. Mm-hmm. And I think you could upgrade the quarterback position. And I know of a quarterback
No, fuck.
that just he just got vaccinated, has a good relationship with the head coach. Man, I think it'd be a great fit. I'm just saying, Washington, call Superman up. He's ready.
I asked about Aaron Rodgers
Hey, he won't be worth
passing
it.
yards,
Heineke at this point.
and I got
Screw Aaron
a
Rodgers. I don't like Aaron
promotion,
Rodgers anyway.
and I
I don't
got a
like Aaron
promotion
Rodgers
for
anyway.
Cam
Like
Newton.
Aaron Rodgers anyway.
I straight up don't like Aaron Rodgers.
Neither do
Jamel-
I, but damn.
Jamel
I can't
over
stand
under.
him. That's
I'm
why I
gonna
said I
go
don't
under.
really care about his yards. Whatever. I wanted to talk about Cam.
This turned into a promo for Cam Newton. Okay, RJ, I'll give you the ugly girl fight for this week. The Falcons and the Dolphins. Dolphins just shit the bed in London. Now they're gonna head back to the States and also probably shit the bed. We all have Atlanta. So talk to me about that.
I don't know how they don't have a bye
How
week.
the hell did we all take Atlanta in this game?
How
Who
does
who
how
else
does
you
Atlanta
gonna
have a
take?
bye
Miami
week?
not have a bye week.
I don't make.
I
Okay,
didn't realize.
No,
okay,
they
I
do
guess I'll
play the
double
Falcons.
check what we
That's
have.
not-
Here.
that they do.
Just
Oh, yeah,
spotted
I'm not
that.
tripping.
Me too. Yeah, that doesn't
That's
make
never
any sense.
happened,
And
right?
they said screw the Dolphins. Y'all keep working.
Wow. I didn't even realize that. Could be because I didn't watch a single second of that London game.
I watched the whole game as much.
I'm glad you gave me the ugly girl fight of the week. That's what I was going to call it. Not every week there's an ugly girl fight. This is definitely the ugly girl fight of the week. Atlanta, Miami. We picked Atlanta. Is that what we
Yeah.
said?
I don't know how.
I don't know what you want me to. I almost picked Miami.
I think we
Maybe
all
it's
almost
you.
picked Miami.
Bro, I didn't even realize that they're not getting a bye week. That didn't even occur to me. They were in London. Wow. Well, yeah, they're okay. There you go. There's a good reason.
because Goodell said, "Screw y'all, you're gonna figure it
Yeah,
out."
that's wild.
Over under 2.5 picks for Tua.
I'm
Bump it
gonna
up.
say
Screw that guy.
I'm gonna say under because who on Atlanta's gonna pick him off? Come on,
That's a good point.
There
bro.
now.
Ain't nobody in Atlanta. What is Deion Sanders coming back?
Calvin
No.
Ridley's playing safety.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. Let's chill out. Unless Kyle Pitts is playing safety, I don't want to hear it.
Jamil, I'll give you a slightly slightly less uglier matchup. The Jets and the Patriots. The Patriots have been hanging in some games, and we're obviously going to give them the upper hand here. Talk to us about that.
Well, first, let me just use RJ's line. When we get the sheet and you see the Jets, you either look all the way to the left or all the way to the right, and you just circle whatever team they're playing. Now, the last time these two teams played, the Patriots had their way. They'll have their way again. They'll run the ball for a lot of yards this game behind Stevenson and Harris. Mac Jones will throw the ball 15 times, probably throw 12 completions. Game over. Patriots win.
Rookie quarterbacks versus Bill Belichick. We've all learned the lesson. Okay.
Does Mac Jones play the fourth quarter?
Yeah, they're not going to be
Yeah.
that bad.
Who else would play the fourth quarter? Who's their backup?
Brian Hoyer probably.
Brian
He's there. He's
Brian
always
Hoyer.
the
I
guy.
thought, did he get cut and re-signed again?
Probably, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds like
Yeah,
Hoyer.
that sounds like Brian Hoyer. Yeah.
Will, I'll go to you for this one. Carolina and the New York Giants. We went Carolina with this one, despite each team having a few banged up running backs. Talk to me about this. Yeah, same thing.
The Giants. Who's left on the Giants? What is it? Mike Glennon and
man, still got
Booker
Daniel
T
Jones,
running.
bro.
Shepard's back. Shepard's
well,
healthy again.
Yay! Who's gonna throw to him? Mike Glennon again?
They
Yeah.
got Daniel Jones still. What are you talking
Legend.
about?
Oh, did Daniel Jones? Is he not out?
No, he played last week too.
Well, I'm proud
Did
of
he?
him.
Yeah.
I'm proud of him. It's still Danny Dimes. It's still Danny 2 nickels. It's still Danny 10 pennies. And who the hell are they playing? This is all over the place.
The Panthers.
Oh yeah, because Sam Darnold needs a jump back game. We need to get him
And
in the
Sandy back
W.
in MetLife.
Oh, let's see it, baby. Let's get him back in that homecoming stadium, even though it's not really a homecoming because it's the Giants, but it's really the homecoming because it's also the Jets. Granted, last time he was there, he was seeing ghosts, but I think Ghostbusters might be there and you might be able to make a couple of plays happen. There's no damn way the Giants win this game, right? Like literally no way. I would imagine no. But I mean, we said that about the Saints game. So this is a weird game. This is another weird game. 3 games in a row that are kind of gross. But give me the Panthers. Why not?
Over under 300 passing yards for Sam Darnold.
I'll never give him over.
Jesus Christ.
If he gets
300. Better hope
Yeah.
Carolina has 300 total yards. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not been following along here, Sam Darnold is back. And when I say Sam Darnold is back, he
To being the
fooled
Jets
everybody.
quarterback. Yeah.
He fooled all of y'all the first 3 weeks when he led the league in rushing touchdowns. He fooled all of y'all. All that. Scott Hansen on Red Zone made the comment calling him Cam Darnold or Sam Newton or whatever, and I almost threw a wrench through my TV. Listen, Sam Darnold is back. That trash, overhyped West Coast quarterback that we saw on the Jets for 4 years, he's back, ladies and gentlemen. This dude sucks.
Thank you, RJ.
That's all I got to say. This dude sucks.
Sam Darnold, clearly a special talent and well received by the fans of Carolina.
He's lucky the Falcons are playing the Dolphins, or this would have been the ugly girl fight of the week.
It was close. It was gonna be that
It
one or
was
Miami.
close.
Yeah. But yeah, don't expect anything fun coming from this game.
No,
Obviously,
I don't expect fun as a Panthers fan.
You're used to it by now. Raiders and Eagles. Raiders surprising at least us. I don't know about everybody, but at least us last week by getting a big win over the Broncos. Oh yeah, RJ won his island last week. RJ won 2 of his islands last week.
Yeah, I won one of mine too now.
Yes,
Eat shit,
hold on. Yeah, you did.
Did I win an island?
I lost mine. RJ went
2 and 1.
2 and 1 on his. Jamil won his only one. Will, you didn't have an island. You had a split. You won your split.
Yeah, I did.
I lost my split.
Those
Yeah,
other
no,
two guys are
You did.
stupid.
The Dolphins failed
I,
us.
I blow. Yeah. Thanks, Dolphins.
You do blow.
Raiders though.
Oh.
Eagles bad. And now Zach Ertz is gone. I don't even know if he was playing, but that sucks for morale or something. Jamil, talk to me about the Raiders.
Yeah, no, the Raiders surprised us last week. They went out and they played a tremendous game against the Broncos. They beat them in every facet of the game. And now they got to keep it going. The Eagles, I don't know what the Eagles are doing on offense. They refuse to run the ball. They want to throw the ball every play. Jalen Hurts can't throw. So I don't know what that situation is. If Jalen Hurts isn't running for touchdowns, are they scoring? The answer is no. So
No.
it's gonna be tough. The Raiders actually have a stingy secondary, so I don't see how throwing the ball 35 times is gonna result in them winning the football game.
Over under 4.5 receptions for Devontae Smith.
Someone's got to catch that damn ball. Give it to
I
them.
don't know. He only had 2 against the Bucks, and our secondary is horrible. So
They underuse him, I feel like.
I'll go over. If he gets his targets, just to get the catches.
All right. Jared Goff is back
Yeah.
to nothing really, but he will be seeing the Rams again. That's something.
Ah.
They're going to be in LA against Matt Stafford and the Rams. Of course, all 4 of us have the Rams. Will, talk to me about this one.
Yay. This game is going to be an ass pounding. This is not going to be fun. This is,
I need that on a loop.
there's,
Pounding.
there is nobody that knows Jared Goff more than Sean McVay, and that kid, like, he's gonna look off. This might be a career low for Jared Goff. Like, this might be his worst game because McVay's the only guy who could get this guy a W in the NFL. Now you're going to face him, literally the only guy still 0-13 or 0-12 or something like that without Sean McVay. And now you're going to face the only guy who could make you a somewhat competent quarterback. Prepare for your loop it again ass pounding, because it is going to be tough.
Well, I saw someone on the internet. They said Jared Goff was in LA and he had everything perfect for him, and he was still average. So what
Exactly.
do you do about it?
I wish I lived there. Really? No.
No.
Well, I don't have an over-under for this one, but odds Dan Campbell cries after this game in the presser.
If I was Dan Campbell, I would cry in rage that Jared Goff is my quarterback. If there was a prop bet on Dan Campbell saying Jared Goff needs to step it up again, I would take that 100%.
Dan Campbell's got a lot of heart, but
Can't wait to hear what they say when the game's over, when they meet at midfield, when Sean McVay goes, sorry. What about his quarterback?
Sorry, buddy. Sorry about that.
Thanks for the trade, pal.
RJ, I'll give you another ass pounding.
Let's get it.
Arizona and Houston. Of course, we all went with Arizona.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. That is literally, you look at the sheet and whoever's name is beside Houston, you just automatically circle it. There's like 3 of those teams we got that it doesn't matter who they're playing. You just circle the other
Is
team.
it the Jets,
Right.
Giants, and Texans?
I think it's the Texans and Jets for sure. And then I actually
Jaguars?
almost picked the Giants this week to beat Carolina because Detroit is down there too, but they're showing a lot of heart.
No. We have a couple.
They're
of
gonna
them.
back into a couple wins. Don't worry. Detroit's gonna pull a Bubba Wallace and win a rain shortened race here pretty soon. Don't worry.
Hey,
Um,
hey,
I had to.
hey,
I had to put one in.
hey.
W.
No, what game is this? Cardinals Texans. Dude, Kyler Murray might not play the fourth quarter.
I was going to ask that, but I might as
Yeah.
well ask this. Are the Cardinals the Kyle Larson of the NFL?
No, I'm out of here.
I mean that's kind of a tough one. Right
Next
now they're
question.
undefeated. They're the best. Yeah, why not?
Over under 350 passing yards for Kyler, given he plays, a
Over.
substantial amount.
Over.
You're
Over?
over in that.
Over in 3 quarters, potentially?
Over.
They got to run the
Over.
ball eventually.
Over.
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
Maybe
Wow.
Kyler.
Wow.
Maybe just Kyler. I don't know.
Don't
I'll
bother.
blow them out.
Jamil, I'll give you your team. And taking on Will's team, actually. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we have them
Yeah.
defeating the
Me
Bears.
versus- Me versus Will this week. Sorry, buddy.
It's okay. I'm ready.
Why are the Bucks going to win?
The thing
What
is,
do you mean why?
here's the thing,
How? I
though,
don't know.
Will.
Where?
Let's look at last week what you guys did against the Packers. Justin Fields finally threw. We said, is he gonna throw the ball over 25 times? He did. He threw 27.
Proud of
And
him.
listen, Khalil Herbert, great game, 97 yards first quarter start. That's not happening this week. So
No.
those 27 attempts, we're gonna have to bump that up to about 35 for y'all to have any chance to win this football game because you don't run the ball on Vita Vea in this front seven. You just don't do it. It doesn't work. So the way you beat the Bucks is by throwing through the air. And I could probably go to one buck and get some reps at corner this week because we have no corners. We just got no corners. They're not there. They're non-existent. And you have the players. You have Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney. So if you throw the ball 35 times, sure you can score on us. But here's the thing: we're gonna score it back on you guys because who's stopping Antonio Brown right now the way he's playing? And we still got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin chilling on the side, just doing their own thing. And it's funny because Bucks fans are mad that AB's out playing them. Shut up and enjoy the wins, man. Just shut up and enjoy the wins. But no, y'all have the ability to attack our weakest spots, but I don't think it's going to be too much Bucks at the end of the day. And I don't think Justin Fields will be good enough to beat the defense the way, even though the corners are bad. I think that the way Tom Brady's going to dial it up, it's going to scare Justin Fields.
Nick Foles finna come in this game and beat Tom Brady again.
Okay.
Gentlemen, over or under 8.5 punts for the Bears?
But oh no, come on, nah.
That's a lot of punts. I'm
Oh,
going.
there's a shit ton of
Hey,
punting.
I threw it. I mean, hey, gave it a
They're only
shot.
gonna have like 10 drives.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. And Will, I'll let you take us home with the Monday night game. The Russell Wilson and Chris Carson-less Seahawks, who almost beat the Steelers. I almost hit my island, believe it or not, if not for a Boswell field goal. They're taking on, no, I almost said Drew Brees. They're taking on Jameis Winston and the New Orleans Saints. We all have the Saints, of course, because without Russell Wilson, what are the Seahawks? Please enlighten us.
They're almost better than the Steelers. That's what the Seahawks are. But honestly, I'll be completely honest. This could be a total upset game. Gino looked good. Gino looked good against a good defense. Or I should say, maybe not good. Maybe not good's the right word, but decent. And their running game went pretty well for not having Chris Carson. The Seahawks could actually make this game kind of fun, especially being in Seattle. It could even be even more fun. But at the end of the day, I think we all just kind of went with the safe pick. You kind of assume that the Saints are going to pull this off just because no Russell Wilson, no Chris Carson. Everybody just kind of assumes, but honestly, if this is something that you want to, if this would be kind of like this would be like a 50-50 bet for me, honestly. If I was like actually putting money on this at a sports book, I wouldn't be behind putting money on the Seahawks. Because this is a game that could actually, honestly, as a betting man, if this hits, this could bring home some cash. So, but I think we all just went with the safe pick just because, I mean, in a perfect world where everything goes right, there isn't a reason why the Saints lose this game.
RJ, I kind of want to get your take on this because I think it'd be entertaining. DK Metcalf and Shannon Sharp had an exchange on, I believe it was Twitter, a couple days ago. DK Metcalf, called the Hall of Fame tight end little boy, and basically told him to go away. What are your thoughts on that?
Why did he do that? What did Shannon
Yeah,
say?
so
Not
at
see
the end- did you watch the end of the game on Sunday night?
So I'm gonna be honest. I watched 2 seconds of that game, and I'm not kidding. When the Braves game ended, I turned that game on, and they were reviewing and gave the Seahawks 2 more seconds to send the game to overtime, and then I didn't watch overtime.
All right,
That's
so
how
right
much I
before
cared about that game.
Right
That's
before
how
that,
much.
DK catches the ball on the sidelines, and instead of just walking out of bounds for them to kick the field goal, he like stayed in bounds and he got the ball punched out, and then there was like a scramble for it. The Seahawks get the ball back. They have no timeouts, so they have to go scramble around the spike of the ball, and they got the spike off with 1 second left, and that's when you flipped the channel on and they did the review to give them the time left. So right before that, instead of walking out of bounds to just stop the clock, kick the field goal, DK tried to pick up extra yards for no reason because he wasn't going to score. And then he got the ball punched out, and then they scrambled for it. So Shannon Sharp said he tried to play hero ball by not going out of bounds, and they started going back and forth.
I mean, that's correct. If you're already in field goal range, and you have no time, there's not much time left, no timeouts, get out of bounds. I don't know, what are you trying to gain an extra 1 or 2 yards for? Like, most of the time, these kicks don't come down to 1 or 2 yard differences here. So yeah, no, Shannon's got it right. DK is trying to play hero ball. He should have got out of bounds, should have did the right thing. The smart move. He's still somewhat young. I guess he'll learn when he gets older. But them two going back on Twitter, I mean, you got DK, who could be one of the best receivers in the NFL, fighting with some guy that gets paid to talk on television, and half the stuff he says doesn't really make any sense anyway. Come on, just focus on your job, DK. Don't worry about what this clown on Fox Sports is saying. Don't worry about that. Just you just keep balling.
Okay, well, wrong. I'm looking for someone to call DK stupid. So Jamil, Will, why don't you take that?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was.
They all called DK stupid.
He was talking like
I said it was a
funny
dumb
'cause he was
move,
talking
yeah.
like Sharp wasn't a Hall of Famer though.
Well, no,
That was
not
the
fumble.
thought.
RJ, I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought everyone saw this on like Instagram or Twitter, but like the fact that DK was speaking to a Hall of Famer, someone with such a more filled resume than himself, was just that was the stupid part. Not the hero ball was dumb, but it was almost even dumber to talk to Shannon Sharp, who does also have a show where he can, I guess, use that platform to make DK look worse. I don't know what comments he's made on it since, but what DK did on Twitter was just immature and kind of dumb.
Shannon Sharp is okay. He kind of played DK here. Okay. He has a television show where he talks about just random sports stuff. This is a storyline now. All Shannon did was throw the bait out there, and DK took it, so he's got something to talk about on his show. I mean, what are we doing here? Like, why this? Yeah, you don't call a Hall of Famer a scrub or whatever he called him. Like, yeah, that guy's in the Hall of Fame. You ain't, you're still wet behind the ears. But like, I mean, Shannon played him. This is what he's got to do. That's the business he's in now. He's got to stir the pot, and he's got to have something to talk about.
Well, I mean, hopefully DK backs up everything he was saying, because coming hard at a Hall of Famer and not being able to back it up is a tough look. So we'll see how DK and the Seahawks do this week. Of course, we did take the safe pick with the Saints, but that's been our week 7 pick'ems. Catch us next week for week 8. And for the men you see here, Will, Jamil, RJ, I've been Matthew Perry. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.